Hey, video 82 out of 100. We are very close to finishing this series. I challenged myself to do 100 videos in 100 days, and we're almost there. So, yeah, cool. Today's video is about my LinkedIn post today, which is about katakana near misses. So, there's a couple of these in my posts. I've done a series of these, I guess, about how. So Japanese has, what is it called? Waseigo. It's loan words. So for a lot of non-Japanese concepts or objects that didn't exist in Japan before, they just kind of took the name for it and adopted it into Japanese. So yeah, common example is shoe cream, right? Shoe cream is actually a cream puff, but they didn't have it in Japan, so they just took the word. That's also what I would consider a near miss, because they could have just said cream puff, but they took the French version of the word, which is pie shoe or something, and made it into shoe cream, which is actually cream puff. Anyway, so the history behind these kind of loan words is totally random. I can't find any logic to it. Like, some of them come from a long time ago, back in history, like 400 or 500 years ago, and some of them, there's still so many more that are created every day. Staba is Starbucks, but Starbucks and Staba. So I don't know. There's no logic to any of these. So recently, though, this one is kind of funny. So I do training sessions for Japanese brands, global communication training for Japanese brands. So it's mainly for fashion brands and their shop staff, because they have to deal with non-Japanese customers. So I help them communicate. And in these training sessions, I do them a couple times a week. Sometimes it's following a script and just role play. And sometimes I just leave it as an open Q&A session. So in one of these open Q&A sessions, one of the shop staff asked me, she said, "Hey Alex, I want to ask you about Trump, right?" And Trump is Trump, right? So I was a little confused, right? Like, huh? Like, this is a communication training. Like, what? Why do you want to talk about Trump? But okay, so what do you want to know? And in my mind, I'm getting ready for like everything. Like, I have a lot of things I need to think about before preparing for this question. But then she asked me the follow up. She said, "Oh, okay. So do inbound customers play babanuki?" And I said, "Oh, that Trump, right?" Because Torampu in Japanese also means playing cards, right? So, the cards that you use to play poker or blackjack. That is not called kado or playing kado. It's, I don't know why, but it's called Torampu, right? So I guess, there's probably some logic connected to trump the verb, or, whatever. This hand trumps this hand, and this, so it wins, and then Trump somehow became playing card. Like, I guess, But in whenever that came to Japan, probably 100, 200 years ago, like the first deck of cards came to Japan, and that name stuck. And for most of the history, it was pretty obvious, what people were talking about if they were talking about Trump. But now, obviously, the last 12 years, with my president, you have to double check for the context. Which Trump are you talking about? The card game or the president? And I find myself having to double check almost every time now. When people say like, "Oh, let's talk about Trump," or like, "Hey, what do you think about Trump?" Or "I want to ask you about Trump." I'm like, okay, which one? Are we talking about the game or the president? And it's just a funny thing that I think could totally be avoided if there was some katakana waseigo agency that, could reevaluate or update these words, every couple of years, at least every 10, 20 years instead of 200. Because, especially now, torampu and torampu, that's a near miss, I feel. You could just change it to, cards or whatever, spades. Like, something like that that's so specific. But so we're in this world now where, I'll be, in the middle of a conversation and then I won't know if I'm talking about, politics or playing cards. So, anyway, just a funny side story about living in Japan and the katakana, waseigo that we have to deal with every day. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Inbound Alex, and like I said, I help Japanese brands with their inbound sales, and then when they're ready, I help them go abroad. So Trump can be Trump for your brand, right? Thanks. See you next time.